trans people and names. Name a better combo. You can't. There's somebody in here named Leaf, too. That's awesome. Anytime that I hear 2000 and my eyes just gloss over immediately, I'm like, oh god, I'm the Crypt Keeper. These should never be spoken out loud. They're like the incantations from the Necronomicon. We should never be talking like this. Queer platonic fucking, guys. Queer platonic soaking later. Guys, I want you to know that I'm okay with queer platonic sex. I'm totally fine with it. But I'm also sex repulsed. But we can have sex later, maybe, platonically. She caught me on the sofa. It was platonic. She even caught me in the shower. It was platonic. It was even on camera. Platonically. Okay, so these allegations are against this SHAYY person to be about my gawk. Oh my god, bro. Gawk posting. Oh, what? Oh my god. I think this is the most, like, Tumblr shit I've ever seen in my life, but the SHAYY person is a Deltarune Undertale speedrunner. They have, like, a ton of subscribers. Well, they've lost a ton, but they had, what, like 600k or something like that. It's dropped down pretty significantly. But this person is a Deltarune speedrunner, and there's some allegations of sexual misconduct. So yeah, I guess a person's life hangs in the balance. Let's begin, shall we? Okay, so this is the monstrosity. This is 662 pages. And then I want to say, where's the one that I wanted to look at? Okay, so this is this person. This is this person.
Written up some fake ass Google Doc on me to... Do you know, I have been mortified of the day I would be trending on Twitter, thinking like, oh god, somebody's written up some fake ass Google Doc on me to try to get me canceled or whatever.
And this person is quite, we have the Quasimodo posture going on. We have the Quasimodo posture going on, guys. This person is very interesting. To perceive and witness. Let me see if I can get like a decent image here. Like we've got some crazy posture going on here, you guys. Absolutely insane posture. Like our spine, quite literally, we could measure the curve with like y equals mx plus b or some shit like that. This shit's crazy. Look at this. Look at this posture. What is this posture? The Hunchback of Notre Dame. That's insane. That's crazy. Anyway, how the mighty have fallen, guys. How the mighty have fallen. Alright, let's get into it. Let's get into it. We got a lot to read, so... Oh boy. Okay. So, preface. We are a group of SHAYY's victims and former friends. Including but not limited to... Oh, they're accusing SHAYY of assault, harassment, grooming, orbiting fans until they're of legal age, coercion, abuse, and releasing the document because we feel that SHAYY's actions pose and present an extreme safety risk to the community, and that people need to be aware. So, SHAYY themselves has already admitted to the actions and detailed testimonies from Anonymous 1, Azarath, Anonymous 3, Willie J, and to the victims themselves in private. So we've got lots of testimonies in here. They've taken place as recently as the past week. Okay, so we're not a PR firm, we're just a group of people who have been deeply hurt and take advantage. What we do ask is that you do not attempt to contact or harass anybody mentioned in its contents, blah blah blah. So additional context: people have chosen to publish their testimonies anonymously about arbitrary names and colors and numbers assigned. They're consistent. Many of the statements will mention #trusted or #vent Discord channel. This refers to the channels in SHAYY's server, the Frog family, that only those with the quote idiot or moderator roles have access to. The idiot role was only given to close friends. That's funny. Nice. It's important to note this behavior has been documented. It's been brought to SHAYY's attention repeatedly as early as 2021. This document was created after multiple attempts to get them to change with no result. So ideally, that's kind of like the situation that you want, right? We don't pull shit out publicly until there's been some kind of attempt at resolution. Public nuking should always be like the last kind of option here. Is that better? Is that better, you guys? Does that spark more joy for everyone? Is that a little better? How's that? Is that better? Is that better for everyone? So we come down here. This is star smiley. This document contains depictions of assault. Star smiley. This is star smiley's writing. Okay. I've been SHAYY's partner for the last 5 to 6 years, living with them since August of 2025. Within the last week, I moved back with my parents. I'm going to outline the experience that I had. There's an important part of our relationship you need to understand going into all this. I identify as asexual. I'm not interested in doing anything sexual with anyone. SHAYY was aware of this and respected that throughout the relationship and understood that they needed a sexual outlet and agreed that they could have sexual contact with others. I did request that they tell me who it was with or when it happened, but I will go into how it was handled poorly. Okay. I think realistically, if you're somebody who's asexual, like being in a relationship with a partner that like is on the same wavelength as that is pretty important. I think as soon as you start giving the hall pass or whatever, I think it can get pretty messy pretty quickly, but that's my opinion. But okay. So, and even if there is this kind of hall pass policy, we should be, you know, communicating when we're doing that for many different reasons. But yes, open relationship drama. We're somebody's going to get a bingo in this for sure. So, beginning of November 2025, SHAYY and I were lounging in our bed, cuddling. They laid their hand on my crotch and started rubbing it without asking. This has never happened before, and I froze. They did it for a minute or so before saying, "So you really don't feel anything, huh? That's crazy," before laughing and pulling away. I did not give consent for them to do this, which makes sexual assault. I'm also asexual and felt disrespected in my identity that they had to test. I mean, yeah, like, you should probably just, like, respect your partner's boundaries. I think that's fair. Yeah, I mean, that's probably inappropriate. For sure. I would say that's inappropriate. For sure. We should not be crotch grabbing without asking, of course. That's... Yes, okay. I also think that we should be able to, like, say, hey, don't. I think that's also fair. But nonetheless, I don't think that we should just be, like, grab them by the pussy without asking. That's probably not appropriate. So, as I mentioned previously, I agree that they could have sexual contact with others and did not specify that... Wait, what? And did not specify that they had to tell me when it happened or who it was with. Okay, so that's a mistake right there. That's a big mistake. I agreed that they could have sexual contact with others and did not specify that they had to tell me when it happened or who it was with. That sounds okay. That's definitely okay. I did not expect them to be having this behavior with nearly 20 people near constantly throughout the entire relationship. Well, okay. Okay, so you're like, hey, babe, I'm asexual. I don't want to fuck, but I know that you want to fuck, so you can go fuck whoever you want. You don't have to tell me about it or let me know. Just, you know, run free, run wild. Be young, wild, and free, as Wiz Khalifa so eloquently said. And then SHAYY is being young, wild, and free, and we're unhappy with that for some reason. Okay. Interesting choice, I suppose. Furthermore, they have reassured others that they did, in fact, ask for my permission for those specific encounters to happen, which they did not. They were going off of the original agreement, which was years old at this point. Well, why would you not continually reassess this conversation? If it was something that started to bother you, why wouldn't you bring it up again? Like, hey, it does actually bother me. Can you, let me know when you're going to do this or communicate a little bit more clearly? I think that's fine, right? Okay, this just sounds like poor communication. That's my first initial read here, which is what this seems like. And then obviously if SHAYY is lying and saying, hey, I have a partner, but we can, and they say, oh, well, did you talk to your partner about it? And they say, oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they did talk about it, right? Like this smiley person did say you could whoever you want. That's fine. So it sounds like they did, but okay. These people were led to believe that SHAYY was telling me about this when it happened. They have said that they would not have participated if they knew I didn't know. But you said that you didn't. Okay, whatever. They would also intentionally invite people over while I was away from the house with the purpose of acting sexually with them, and again, not telling me what happened while I was away. But you said that you didn't care if they told you. Okay. I will note that when I left the house with SHAYY to go back to my parents, I did so in secret. I was afraid that they would try to prevent me from leaving. They later called my mom and confirmed that they would have tried to stop me from leaving if they knew. That's kind of fucked up. Let people leave if they want to leave. That's probably not appropriate. I'd agree with that. Okay, so the last bit of this section is that we briefly broke up in April of 2021. They were flirting with 2 of my friends, and as good friends, they came to me and told me. SHAYY promptly broke up with me and got with another person, which lasted a few months before coming back and saying they wanted to try a relationship again. That should have been my first red flag. Why is this in here? Why is this in here? What does this have to do with the allegations of, like, sexual misconduct? Like, I don't know. Everybody gets cheated on, everybody gets played, everybody gets f***ed over. That doesn't mean that it's inherently, like, sexual abuse, right? Like, I've been cheated on. I've had partners that have, you know, like, tried to f*** my friends behind my back, that have, like, flirted with my friends behind my back, like, shit like that. That doesn't mean that I was, like, sexually abused, right? That just means that that person was kind of an asshole. Like, if somebody home wrecked, does that mean that I was, like, sexually abused in that situation? No, I got home wrecked, right? I don't know if that... Okay, I suppose. All right, cool. And then, again, why is this in here? If we're doing an allegation of sexual misconduct orbiting minors, something as strong of an allegation as, like, essentially, yeah, I think that we should be starting with that. I don't mean to, like, you know, nitpick this Google document to death, but I don't know why this is in here, but okay. The rest of this document is relatively minor in comparison, but I think it's important to highlight the entirety of our relationship. Okay. All right, sure. Let's put in more stuff. Because you're going to see this 260-something page document, your eyes are just going to gloss over. This is not very user-friendly, but... Okay, our financial situation, they made $250K, while I made about $38K. Despite this, they would ask me to foot the bill for our trips, about $1,500 for a hotel room for a week. Another important yeah, this is stupid. I would just be like, fuck you, no, you make way more money than me. Also, if you're in, like, a long-term relationship with somebody, my opinion, and this is the correct opinion, so everybody write this down. If you want to get married to somebody or be in a long-term committed relationship with somebody, marriage is partially a financial agreement, okay? And so is long-term, you know, husbandry, if you want to call it that, I guess. Your partner's finances are your finances. So... I have, like, my fuck you money, my wife has her fuck you money, and then we have our money. And our money goes to things that we do together, bills, you know, trips together, things like that. It's our money. It's not one or the other, right? This is kind of a weird way to do this, but... And yeah, if somebody's making $250K and this other person's making $38K, I would be like, no, fuck you, dude, you're paying for this. That, yeah. Okay, only once or twice a day, split the bill in the past 5 years. Well, if you're the one, and I will say, you know, if you're on the receiving end of this kind of financial mismanagement, that's kind of on you, right? You need to say something about that. And you kind of set the precedent for this in a relationship, right? If you're going out, like, on a date and you guys are already quibbling over the money, you, like, kind of set that expectation early in a relationship, right? It's just like, this is the person that always pays for stuff. This is the person that doesn't. This just demands better communication, I guess, but okay. Another important aspect of our relationship is that I'm severely depressed and struggle with suicidal thoughts. I would often vent on my alt account about these. Shay usually never reached out to me regarding these instances privately and rarely commented on these posts. Baby, you didn't respond to my suicide Twitter posts. Baby. Okay. I do not know if they didn't see them, or... Okay, well, why would you include this if you didn't know if they didn't even not see them? What the fuck? Why is this even in here? I struggle with reaching out to people one-on-one about these issues, not wanting to feel like a burden. The lack of care shown didn't help. Okay, so I feel like this testimony, other than the crotch grabbing, shouldn't even be in here. Is this what the whole document is? Is this what the whole document is? Is this kind of... Oh my god, bro. They fucked this up bad. I do know that, like, all the Tumblrites are totally eating this shit up. And, like, all of this is probably shitty behavior, sure, but I don't think... The only thing in here that's, like concerning to that degree is going to be the crotch grab. That's going to be, like, the only thing that's that concerning, in my opinion, but okay. We would also rarely see each other, except for when we slept. We would occasionally hang out and have meals together, but it wasn't common. Something noteworthy is while we were hanging out alone, they would often say, I'm going to hang out with X, see you later, without inviting me. I don't understand if I didn't know the person. Why can't you say anything about that? Why is this in an allegation document? They never invited me to go and hang out with their friend. Why is this in a rape allegation document? Okay. As far as our living situation went, it arose immediately. Quickly began the person to do everything around the house: laundry, grocery shopping, taking care of garbage, dishwashing, cleaning, blah, blah, blah. During these times we were together, we usually didn't talk. They were too busy on their phone. I chalked up to them being extremely person, but considering how they were interacting sexually with people, the chances are high that they were doing that instead. We have an open relationship. Congratulations. You decided on that. They are going to be engaging sexually with other people. You're also dating somebody who's like a streamer, in an online content creator. They're probably going to be on their phone a lot. Yeah, like all of this could be remediated with better communication. I should note that they seem to have a severe social media addiction. They were constantly on their phone or the computer. I remember a few instances of asking them about eating, and they just stayed glued to their phone for 2 hours. Remind them a few times about getting food. Just, yeah, 1 second. After we ate, they generally went to their office, and even if they were not streaming that day until 2 a.m., come to bed and immediately get on their laptop and... Okay, then why are you in a relationship with this person? Okay, whatever. Another minor thing... Come on! Another minor thing that I want to know is they left trash laying around so they were just dirty. I have a 2011... and a 3... They traded the Camaro and spent 100K on a Corvette. They were regularly helping friends out financially. I'm glad that they did that. It's notable to say that they usually did not offer help for me in any way in finances, especially in the case of the car. Shows a consistent pattern of behavior that routinely disrespects and invalidates me. I want to note that I don't blame my friends. I do hope Shay takes a step back, blah, 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 blah. So this is... The first allegation bit in here is one paragraph that is pertinent to the allegations at hand. The rest of this is fucking useless. Like, okay, you had a shitty partner. So does everybody at one point or another in their life. You have somebody that doesn't pick up after themselves, somebody that's kind of stingy with their money, somebody that isn't very thoughtful. Like, okay, that doesn't... Okay, whatever. All right, next we have Aspen. Trans people and shitty names. Name a better combo. You can't. There's somebody in here named Leaf, too. That's awesome. Okay. Note the timestamps are in GMT because I put this doc together while on vacation in England. This was rushed because of how stressful it was. These should never be rushed. You should take your time with this, especially if this has been an ongoing situation for, what, 4 or 5 years now? I'm Aspen. I was friends with Shay for a few years, starting early 2022. And so the other thing that I really want to address here, I really want to drive this home. If you guys ever feel the need to do a nuke document on somebody, and I hope that you don't. I hope that you are mature enough to handle this, you know, like a fucking adult, I guess. But when you're making these documents, I'm not going to lie to you. If I was reading this and I didn't know, like, obviously I know some of the other things that are in this document. But if this was my first initial read of this, I would have clicked off after this. Because all this is like... gripes, right? This is just like, there's one paragraph in here that's worth including. The rest of it's just like complaints that you have about somebody. This is like gossip that you tell to your friends, like behind somebody's back, like a normal person. So I would have already clicked off of this document. I would have said, I don't care. But let's see. So this person is, admitting that they rushed to put this in here, and that definitely should have been edited out. I wonder if anybody proofread this document. You should probably never put that in there, that like you're being rushed, right? Okay, I was friends with Shay for a few years in 2022. We originally started talking in Twitter DMs, which have, for better or worse, been lost to time because I deactivated the account. To contextualize my age throughout the rest of this document, I was born in late November 2004. Anytime that I hear 2000 and, my eyes just gloss over immediately. I'm like, oh god, I'm the Crypt Keeper. I'm the Crypt Keeper. I'm old. So it was a few months into being 17 at this point. Okay, so this person is 17 years old. How old is Shay? Hang on. Has that been mentioned in this document at all? Shay YouTube. Let's go to their Wikitubia page. So Shay was born in 1999. I'm not good at math, so what is that? 1999. Let me get out my calculator, Chief, because I don't do calculus. I don't do calculus or nothing. I don't do calculus, Chief. What do we got here? So let's do, what, 2000 this is 2002, right? Or 2022. 2022 minus 1999. So Shay was 23. So that means that Shay is, what, 25, 24, or 25, 26 right now? Okay. 25, 26. So this is 24 years old. Wait. They would have been 26? No, they're... Okay, so they were like 23, 24 at the time of this. Okay, got it. So at the time of this, Shay was like 23, 24. Shay is now 26. Okay, got it. Okay, so... Wow, guys. Time is a flat circle. Nothing ever happens. Yeah, just don't do it. Just don't. Just avoid that altogether. Like, and I understand that obviously if we're playing... Well, here's the thing. This is kind of where it gets a little complicated, because you have adults that make like children-centric content, okay? Like I'm thinking like Blippi and shit, right? Like, or somebody that does like toy unboxing reviews or something like that. Those people are necessarily going to have like children in their audiences just by the nature of the content. I don't think that there's anything wrong with adults making children-centric content. I think when you start engaging in them in like private ways, like you're DMing them, things like that, or even just like a community where there's potential for that just like inappropriate like conversations and shit like that, you should just 86 it, right? We shouldn't be doing that. We shouldn't be DMing people that are minors. We shouldn't be having a community with minors and adults. Like mixed spaces altogether, I think are just a terrible fucking mistake. And realistically, even if you're making like child-centric content or even content that is like, appealing to people that are teenagers or whatever, you just shouldn't interact with those people. You just cut it out. Like I don't even know why you would have a fucking community if you know a majority of your audience is like children and shit. That's fucking insane. That's insane. So J Waves, Aspen says OMG hi, and then the hug. Other update to Discord, I use emotes way too much, and Twitter doesn't allow that. So at the time, I was significantly less experienced with dealing with my anxiety. I struggle with my mental health. At the time, Shay was one of the people that I would talk to about these things. At the time, they were very willing to converse and support me, talking me through a breakdown on multiple different occasions. At times, I would give compliments, calling them cute primarily, but things in that vein. They reciprocated, though, these thoughts in ways that, in hindsight, was not appropriate. My age 17 and theirs 22 or 23. The other thing that I would like to see here, I don't know if it's in here or not, but like where this person denotes their age, I think it's always irresponsible. Like the onus would be on Shay, right? Verifying that this person is of age, but I would like, does Shay know that this person is 17, however? The other thing that I think is meaningful as well is that when you're the adult in this situation, it is your responsibility to stop these interactions. So first of all, I would say don't have a community with fucking children in it. That's insane. But also, if that is the kind of community that you do cultivate, like a mixed age space or something like that, or if for any reason you come in contact with these people, if this is the kind of conversation that you're having, that conversation needs to be shut down immediately by the adult. Like if a kid is like, hey, like, oh my God, I love your content, you're super cute, ooh, ooh, or whatever the fuck, you're just like, hey, that's not appropriate. We're not going to do that. That's not appropriate. It's not appropriate for me to talk to you like that, or for you to be talking to me like that. And it's not safe for you to talk to other adults on the internet like this. Because maybe, again, hypothetically, as I've said before, maybe somebody is the good adult in that situation, quote unquote, like they're, like a safe adult for somebody to talk to, or whatever. You're setting the expectation that people on the internet are always safe, or this is a safe choice to make, and it's not. And then let me put my trans violence on. I need to make that bigger. Hang on. So Aspen says, fun fact, you're cute. Shay says, smile takes one to know one. Shut. No, I don't think I will, you bitch. I hope you're having a good night. I'm also a very complimentary person, so prepare yourself. The real kicker, okay, Lily Orchard, of this conversation is that when I was talking about worrying about not passing while wearing dresses, and they took what was meant to be a comment about how I was insecure about my shoulders to be about my gawk. Oh my god, bro. Gawk posting. Oh, what? Oh my god. Bro, why is my soundboard not working? Oh my god, fuck. No, dude. No, dude. No, dude. Not the gawk posting. Holy fuck. Trans, Discord, Undertale, gawk, oh my. Okay. LOL, yeah, I like skirts. Dresses kind of scare me. Unfortunately, I can't really pass in a dress. I mean, I think you pass just fine enough without anything special. Unfortunately, dresses kind of expose the more giveaway traits. Jay says, what? People can't appreciate some gawk? Dude, I would... Dude, literally call the police. Call the police. Call the police. Holy shit, dude. Terrible. Somebody who's close to a bingo. We've got gawk, open relationships, depression, anxiety, asexuality. Who's close to a bingo? We're pretty close. And then Aspen says that wasn't what I was referring to, or that wasn't what I meant, but that too, I guess. And then Shay says, what else is that supposed to be referring to? LOL. And then Aspen says, I was thinking about my shoulders. Yeah, that's kind of fucking crazy. I don't think that's kind of crazy. Yeah, not a fan of that cat. Later in the same conversation, they commented on my NFTs, which as far as anyone can figure out is nice fucking tits. Oh my god. What? What? Guys, what the fuck?
Guys, come back!
Hey, baby, you want to see my NFTs? Dude, what the fuck? Okay. And they look cute, and that my then partner is very lucky. To a certain extent, you could argue this is reassurance, but the comments about my penis and breasts are on server best. Wow, okay, this is fucking crazy. Okay, this is totally fucked up. Why the fuck are you talking... First of all, why are we talking about like this in general? First of all, why are we talking about this like this in general? We shouldn't ever... These should never be spoken out loud. They're like the incantations from the Necronomicon. We should never be talking like this. But also, why are we talking like this to a fucking 17-year-old? Like, my vote so far is... Like, we should have started with this. We shouldn't have started with the ex-partner saying, like, sometimes they didn't take out the trash. We shouldn't have started with that. We should have started with this. Holy fuck. I mean, I'm looking at, and so Shay says, I mean, I'm looking at that first photo you sent me, and nothing about that screams these shoulders do not look like a woman's, and that has bare shoulders. I'm not sure how long you've been on HRT, but I mean, in my honest opinion, I think you already passed really well. I don't care how anybody would look at that picture and think otherwise. LOL, you've even got some nice NFTs there. Bazinga. Dude. You think I should text my wife really quick and be like, hey, can I see those NFTs? I'll be sleeping on the couch tonight, boys. Okay. Shay says, what? I think I could handle it. I couldn't handle it. I mean, you look really cute in this. Like I said, your partner's very lucky. Nothing direct here, but a couple of instances of them being a bit too concerned about being canceled in a way that seems foreshadowing. I forgot the gay. If I made a joke, is my platform big enough to get canceled for career baiting or whatever, or do I have to get 1 million subs first? Oh no, don't compliment me. Don't compliment me, anything like that. I feed off of compliments, but lately, honestly, it makes me feel confident in myself. But it's okay, I will use my power responsibly. Okay, Spider-Man. I mean, this is the jar effect, right? One day the cancel cannons will come for me because I just can't help but spamming the N-word. It's like... Interesting, okay. Additionally, very clearly on, they were willing to objectify their friends and fans. So far, they say they revel in their simps. Why would I deny I am hot? I think that's a subjective judgment. Subjective judgment. So true. Why do you think I have so many simps? Charisma? Sure. Not that I mind having simps, of course, but I mean, I sort of revel in it at this point. I don't know. I think that's just a deep sign of insecurity if you're really... I don't know. I mean, I guess if I looked like Blake Lively or like Idris Elba, I don't know. Maybe I would be like, yeah, bitch, I am a 10. But other than that, anybody that's like, yeah, as a 10, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know about that one, Chief. Okay, on June 26th at this whatever con or something. Everybody always gets abused at these cons. I guess the only thing that I've ever taken away from our Google Docu reviews is never go to any of these fucking conventions, you guys. Don't go to TwitchCon, don't go to PonyCon, don't go to any kind of convention. There's a high likelihood that you will be raped, apparently. Everybody be careful out there in the con world, okay? So, PSA, don't go to these cons. Don't do it. Maybe we should all go to a convention, you guys, and we'll get t-shirts that say, like, I wasn't raped at BronyCon 2025 or something like that. I wasn't raped at the Gathering of the Juggalos 2025. We'd make a killing, you guys. Good idea. Okay, they sent suggestive images of them shirtless to the best of my ability to discern the context while we were sitting on a bed next to each other in the same room, IRL. Wait, what? They sent a suggestive image of them shirtless to the best of my ability to discern the context of this was while we were sitting on a bed next to each other in the same room, IRL. Okay. That's, like, the worst Riz I've ever seen in my entire life, but okay. But regardless of context, weird thing to send to a 17-year-old. Yes, of course. Image not attached for privacy reasons, and for your sake of reading this, there was no context of this being sent. In the middle of the series of messages were just spam. As I approached 18 years old, they started complimenting me and calling me cute more and more. The worst of this was on Snapchat, which I unfortunately can't supply more of. Well, because Snapchat doesn't save messages, so if you guys are ever messaging people, don't do it on Snapchat, and don't do it on, like, Kik or anything like that, because you can lose the messages. Obviously, like, freaks love doing this on Discord. Or not on Discord, excuse me, like on Snapchat. So Shay says, cute. Thank you. Good morning. You look great. You look so good on my life. Cute. Thank you. Okay. After I turned 18, their demeanor towards me immediately changed to be significantly more overly flirtatious. Hope you're doing well. I am. Cutie. Oh, so adorable. I want a head pat. Hee hee hee. Good boy. Weird. Weird. I mean, if this is going the way that I think it's going, this would just be an example of, like, textbook grooming, right? Just, like, kind of orbiting people that are underage and then kind of normalizing them to, like, your your compliments, you're like normalizing them to sexual talk or whatever, and then like hard pivoting into like a sexual relationship once they're of age. I'd consider that to be grooming, right? Additionally, within the same conversation, they accepted my advancement talking about kissing platonically. More importantly, kissing platonically, dude, I'm so sick of Tumblr queers. I'm so sick of them. I'm so sick of them. Platonic kissing. Platonic kissing. Platonic kissing. Dude, come on. Come on, dude. Ugh. I literally hate Zoomers, dude. We just platonically had sex. It was platonic sex. You guys think it's weird that you guys, it's not weird to have sex with your friends. It's not weird to get fisted by your best friend, guys. It's platonic. We're queer platonic, like, friends. What is that word? Queer platonic, what is the word for that? There's a word. Queer platonic besties or something like that. I literally am so ableist towards Gen Z, it's terrible. It's terrible, dude. What in the Animardol shit is this? Queer platonic. Queer platonic fucking, guys. Queer platonic soaking later? Okay. Next time I see you, I want to give you a huge hug. That would be so nice. And IDK if you're comfy with, but you've mentioned platonic kissing. I did mention that. Hi, I love platonic kissing. Good to know. TBF, I'm down for a lot more platonically than most people are. Take that as you will. Dude, I called it. Platonic soaking. Nice. Yeah, I mean, this is just fucked up, but I think, again, the responsibility here is for the adult to shut down these relationships. Obviously, Shay is in the wrong here, but yeah, I'm sorry, but we don't do platonic kissing, guys. That's not platonic, but I'm recently only exploring platonic affection, so I think I'll just stick to getting head pats. That's so valid. I also want to make sure I'm respecting both you and Star's boundaries. I take that she's okay with those things. Yep. Good, that feels like it should be a given, but you'd be surprised how many people don't take that into consideration. Honestly, it astounds me. Okay, whatever. Screenshot dated November 18th. I mentioned it a bit in the Discord, but a while ago I gave permission to do stuff with others. They never told me who they were doing stuff with. But literally, Star Smiley said that they didn't care if Shay told them about it or not. Whatever. Okay. I'll note here that starting in late 23, around until October 25, they only reached out or engaged in conversations with me when they were horny. Every other conversation is dry at best in some cases, just didn't even get a reply. This isn't a pattern that I noticed until this con that I will cover later, but it's worth noting. So come here and lay on my lap for a while, please. I'm going to fall asleep. Probably just a heads up. That's okay. I hope you don't do anything silly while you're asleep. Later in the same conversation, I established that I was feeling sex repulse, and that's why I was deflecting their advances. I mean, I don't even know what to say, you guys. I don't know if I'm going to be able to make it through this whole fucking thing. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that, guys. I don't know if I can make it through this whole fucking thing. Guys, I want you to know that I'm okay with queer, platonic, gay sex. I'm totally fine with it. But I'm also sex repulsed. But we can have sex later, maybe, platonically? I have no idea. Okay. That's okay, sorry. I'm vaguely ace-lating at the moment, and I don't know where your boundaries are. That's fine. I just don't really know, like, that stuff and where you are. I'm not trying to get in the way of a happy relationship. It's very clear how important communication about things like this was for me. I would have an aneurysm. Like, none of this seems clear at all. I want to platonically kiss and make out, but also don't, but also only if it's platonically. And a lot of this stuff doesn't need to be in here. Like, the only thing that we really need to establish here, like, where's my notes? Like, this is all we really need in here. So from the first one, what we needed was the crotch story. From this one, all we needed was, you know, overly flirty when 17, escalation when turning 18. This is what we need. This is Malcolm's Google Docy writing class, okay? So, all right. Let's see what else is in this one. We never talked about anything past like cuddling and stuff. Communication is very important. I expressed discomfort that they were posting suggestive nude images untagged on their private Twitter account. They responded, worried about each of their posts again on a private account, and rather suggested that they remove me from the circle. I was clear that I used my private Twitter account to follow my friends and accounts, and that seeing sexual stuff was by far the outlier. They still pushed that I should be removed or that I should make a separate account, to which I did, despite not really wanting to. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. So, Shay was posting suggestive nude images untagged on their Twitter, on their private Twitter. They responded worried about the reach of their posts. What does that even mean? And rather suggested that they remove me from their circle. I was clear that I used my private Twitter account to follow my friends' accounts, and that seeing sexual things was by far the outlier. I don't understand this. What does this mean? What does this mean? Well, bro, gotta censor your Twitter. Oh, I get it. Okay. I think I understand. Yeah, if somebody, okay, if I have, so who has a private and a public Twitter account? Like, get a diary instead? Better choice. If I'm following RB on Twitter on my private account that I have for some reason, and RB also has a private account, and I don't like what RB is posting on RB's private account, I can just unfollow RB. That's totally an option. That's totally an option, right? Okay. You gotta censor your Twitter post. I'm in class. Why are you checking your private Twitter in class? I mean, true. That's a great idea. Hang on one second. Why are you checking your private Twitter? True. Get off your phone in class. I completely agree. If I was a teacher, your phone goes in a bin in the front of the class, or you get a 0 for the day. That would be Malcolm's authoritarian utopia classroom. Write that down. Fair enough. I was gonna reply earlier. I feel like I've said this before. It's kind of annoying. That's fair. Like, if you don't want to follow that, I can remove you from the circle. It's something that you willingly asked for on that account. I feel like it's strange to complain about checking something you know is suggestive in hell in public space. Like, this is just true. Like, if this bitch is like super horny, like giga horny all the time, which obviously we are, which is a sin, by the way. Don't do that. Yeah. I mean, it would be like, just like unfollow me. If you don't like what I'm posting, then unfollow me. Why is that my problem? I mean, it's also just the account that I use for my friends' posts. These posts are, like, by far the outlier. It's just something that it's just sometimes I just want to see my friends' posts without getting new jump scared. IDK. Okay, then do you want to follow that account or not? Okay, just unfollow. Okay, this is nothing. This doesn't need to be in here. And we're still going. This doesn't need to be in here at all. This is a waste of time. This is a waste of time. A complete waste of time. They also proceeded to say that I was being condescending for this concern, citing their experience with content creation. Okay, so if this is how this conversation is going to be, I really don't want to have it. I'm already kind of annoyed, and this is just making it worse. Good luck with the rest of your class. Not like you need to worry about it anyway. Circle is dead in like a week anyway. Sorry. Wanted to understand your perspective. It's just annoyingly condescending. Like, I do content creation and social media stuff for a living. I know what I'm talking about. Like, even if it is this argument about, like, engagement or whatever, who cares? At the end of the day, if you don't like what somebody's posting, just fucking unfollow them. So this didn't need to be in here at all. We could have 86'd all of this, okay? So where's our list here? That's fine. Okay, what else do we have in here? In this conversation, they were making more advances than I was comfortable with, and I tried diverting the conversation and diffusing, but they kept pushing their sexual fantasies on me in the moment. A decent portion of this conversation is 23 to 25 were somewhat similar to this, with me even giving into their pressure. So fair, I wasn't sure if she was coming cute. If we can, I want to cuddle in bed for a while at some point. Comfy bed 100%. Cuddle after this, yeah. Use your words, I want to cuddle. Anything else, mainly cuddle. That implies something else silly. Like, yeah, okay. All of this could just be resolved with clearer communication. And again, I want to hold space, you guys, for the fact that this is like a totally like mind-fucked, like socially maladjusted, like mentally ill 17-year-old that had just recently turned 18. So I understand the implications of all of this, but like, this person is being incredibly manipulative. SHAYY did prime Aspen for these kinds of sexual, like, conversations and engagements, which is a problem, of course. That's inappropriate. If you condition somebody to always engage with you sexually in a certain way from a young age, and then later they understand that that's kind of their role in the relationship, so I expect these kind of responses from Aspen. But also, Aspen could just say, no, I don't want to. Like, obviously, that is like a just move, Fivehead argument. Just say no, Fivehead. Just don't get raped, Fivehead. But, like, there are opportunities in here to kind of, like, stand up for ourselves a little bit, of course. And, again, I'm not diminishing that this person was conditioned to respond this way. But these are some instances where we could be a little bit firmer in what we're saying. Because it reads to me in this conversation about the Twitter thing that they were able to have, like, a pretty productive disagreement. Whether you agree with SHAYY or Aspen, it doesn't matter. It seems like they were able to have that conversation, right? So I think that it would, like... It wouldn't be the end of the world if this person, like, had a little bit more stronger boundaries and spoke up a little bit more. But again, I do want to take into account that this person was, like, mind-fucked into this role, essentially. So we do have to make room for that, of course, you guys. We do have to make room for that. You guys are great. Yeah, what if Malcolm made a copy of the Google document and deleted all the irrelevant shit? I mean, that's kind of what we're doing, is it not? This is kind of what this is. Is this not what we're doing? Like, crotch story, we can just say partner, smiley, was had their crotch rubbed by SHAYY. SHAYY trying to convince them they aren't asexual. Like, that's basically what we're doing. So what else is in here? Okay. Alright, so we were right here with the cuddling thing, or whatever. They were interested in hanging out with me, with many DMs like this one below wanting to hang out. We cuddled while we were there, platonically, of course, I imagine. I always platonically cuddle with my friends. Babe, did you fuck her? Platonically? Yeah? Hello? We're queer platonic fuckmates? Hello? Baby, it was platonically. Dude, I wonder if anybody's successfully gotten out of getting caught before. Shaggy style, like, she caught me on the counter, and you're like, it was platonic. She caught me on the sofa. It was platonic. She even caught me in the shower. It was platonic. It was even on camera. Platonically. That's beautiful. Okay. Okay, many DMs like this one wanting to hang out. We cuddled. There were a number of people in the room, including Star, the partner, being in bed at the same time. Given the context of what happened, the same situation when I was alone with SHAYY the next year, I wholeheartedly believe their presence saved me from being assaulted here. And so this would have been... So at the time, Aspen would have been of age, but again, remember that this person was kind of mind-fucked into this relationship, right? So, hey gamer, when do you get here? I'm here. I got dragged to the mall. No worries, I'm out. Are you still out? All my friends are watching a run and I can't. I'm in the broadcast room. Did you want to hang out? Yeah. When are you available? I'm in the middle with a bunch of people planning. If you want to just hang out in my room, I'm in this room. We did the same later that day. I similarly suspected the constant presence of other people in the room was the thing saving me. You busy? Not at all. Is that an invitation? Yep, I'll head up there. Foreshadowing a similar way they treated me at the next conference. They did not talk to me or respond to my DMs that were not related to me coming and hanging out with them in person. I'm not trying to be like an asshole here, but like, I'm imagining that you're a content creator and you're like at this convention. Like, to my understanding, SHAYY is like a professional speedrunner. SHAYY holds, to my understanding, world records for these speedruns. So I imagine that if this SHAYY person is going to a conference, they're actually participating in it, right? Like, they're doing speedruns there. They're, you know, a big content creator in the space. Like, apparently this person is like fucking huge in the Undertale, whatever scene, I guess. But I would imagine that they don't have time to sit and like text you back and forth on Discord all day. Like, I would imagine like this is you're at a professional work event and somebody's like, well, you didn't respond to any of my messages that weren't about hanging out. It's like, yeah, dude, like I'm working right now. I could imagine that. Like, I don't really think, again, I don't think this needs to be in here, but in this conversation, I very explicitly told them that I wasn't horny. They still try to make an advancement. You're so gay. Sorry. I'm just not kind of in the mood. Not in a horny mood right now. Damn. And then I can fix that. What? Bonk. I mean, that's kind of flirting, I guess. Like, let's take this out of the context. Like, let's break this down a little bit. In the context of this, where this person was essentially groomed into this, you know, relationship or whatever, I don't think there's anything wrong with, like, playful, like, sexual banter or whatever. Like, if you're in a relationship with somebody and it's like, hey, do you want to, you know, do you want to mess around? And they're like, I'm not really in the mood. It's like, I can fix that. Like, I don't know if that's, like, you're being assaulted, right? Like, it can be a little inappropriate, especially if it's somebody that you're not in a relationship with. But I think, like, flirty, like, joking doesn't really mean that much, in my opinion. Like, I wouldn't really consider this like I wouldn't consider this like evidence of, you know, inappropriate relationships or whatever. I think a little playful, like, oh, you're not in the mood, well, maybe I could help. Like, I don't think that's like, oh my god, we're being assaulted and shit like that. That's literally just like, oh, well, what if I like do a kickflip? What then? Then would you be in the mood? Okay. As for the main event, they seemed excited to see me. In anticipation, I was excited to see them. Try to continue to get me to hang out. All the while, I was unaware I'd be one-on-one. I assumed that friends would at least be in the room. What I did not know at the time was that they did this purely on the intent of having sex with me, but it would be platonic, so just kidding. Sorry, that was inappropriate. I'm excited to see you. Let me know if you're free. I want to say hi. I'm in the lobby. Just woke up. This is the room that I'm in. I think I'm leaving soon for breakfast. Call ya. I'm free. I could head up. I just helped Cherry bring stuff. Never mind. I lied. I gotta go. Okay, I'm back now. Come up. Okay, I need to steal a card from someone. When I went up to the room under the pretense of hanging out, they sexually assaulted me. Okay, so this is what we're just gonna include. So we have the not safe for work Snapchat plus SA at con. That's all that we need for this one, right? So wait, this one's Smiley. We'll do this. Smiley. This one is Aspen. $17.23. Escalation when turning 18. Grooming. Okay. What else we got in here? So, went up to the room under the pretense of hanging out. They sexually assaulted me. They made advancements and pushed me to do things I was not comfortable with, but I did not feel safe given the context under the power they had over me. And the fact that I was alone with them all the time, I was vulnerable and given unrelated things in my personal life that led me to not really realize what happened until I looked back a few days later. The rest of the event, they barely responded to me. I sent around a dozen or so messages and got a single LOL and smiley, ignoring most everything that I said. The next time they messaged me was to bring up what happened in person again while I tried deflecting and they were insistent. I was thinking about what we did. It was nice. How are you? Also, I never got this ping. I'm doing alright. Just finished college and chilling a bit before I go to England. Ooh. I hope this was fun for you, by the way. Grats. That's huge. Thanks. It's a big weight off. So yeah, obviously they're completely disengaging, which, I mean, I would hope that Shay would take the hint, but I think that if we're an Undertale speedrunner, we're probably like terminally autistic. So we could be clear and just say like, I don't want to talk about that. I think that's fair. And another thing that I want to be mindful of as well is like, I understand that people are able to be like groomed and conditioned and all this stuff online, but remembering that this is online, right? Like if somebody's doing something online that's pissing me off or making me uncomfortable, I can say fuck off and then I can block them and I'm done, right? There's not really like a threat of in real life kind of consequences, the same way that if I was, you know, if somebody was like, hey, do you want to fuck? And I was like, no, bitch, get away from me. You're gross over Discord or whatever. But, you know, if you're out and about and there's like fucking Dwayne The Rock Johnson or like, I don't know, like fucking Mike Tyson that's like, hey, do you want to fuck? Or I'm gonna punch your fucking face in, I'd be like, yeah, totally, platonically though, right? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's not really like a huge cost or like risk analysis that goes into just like telling people to fuck off online. But I understand, again, we are making room for the reason that this person was groomed and conditioned into being in this, like, essentially, like, this person was groomed into being just like a sex outlet for this person, which is not appropriate. But let's be mindful again that a lot of this is online, so you can just say fuck off. But again, I am making room for the fact that this person was groomed to be this person's sexual outlet. I completely understand that. Okay. Okay. I was incredibly uncomfortable around them at the time, and I felt, and left it at saying that I wasn't interested. And then I was feeling sex repulsed. Are you not responding to this for a reason? Yeah, I'm just not interested, sorry. Oh, okay, so we said that. Okay, good. This is awesome. This is great. Good job. Yeah, I'm just not that interested, sorry. Great, fantastic, okay. What do you mean by that? Like, in general, just right now. And then Aspen says a bit of both. I'm not really interested right now. Sorry, I've been very sex repulsed recently. Later in that conversation, they tried prompting me. Okay. Are you going to be at the next one? I really like cuddling with you. It was so nice. Nope, can't afford it. No. Okay. I mean, it just sounds like, I don't know if this was like oh, should we fuck again? Well, I don't know, because the cuddling, I don't know what the cuddling means, you guys. Is this like code word for fucking to these people? I don't know what this means. Whatever. Anyway, around this time, we started having actual conversations, which I can only suspect now because people were starting to come up privately about stories. Eventually, I reached out about my experience, so. So, Aspen says, hey, sorry, I've been awkward and not responding. I've been struggling a lot with things that I haven't known how to handle. To put it bluntly, reflecting ever since the con, I felt incredibly hurt and used by you over the past couple of years. I began feeling this way at the con, but upon reading back through our DMs, it was very clear that you only ever talked to me in more than a couple of very direct messages when you wanted to use me for sex. Reflecting on this last year made it clear. You talked to me when you wanted me for cuddle or to have sex, but ghosted me the rest of the time. It made me feel terrible about myself and the fact that I considered you a friend for years. Just for our interactions to boil down to this trend of you only caring about messaging me when you're horny. I don't think that this would be accurate to call our relationship over the past years a friendship, and our friendship is something that you cared about. You're going to have to learn to be a good friend. And Shay says, hey, thanks, thank you for being honest. I want to apologize and also validate what you're feeling, because I was starting to feel the same way, and it made me feel incredibly icky. The truth of the matter is that I enjoy talking to you, and I enjoy hanging out with you. I never intended to ghost you or anything of that sort. I just really struggle to keep up with the amount of social media things happening at an event like that. I do care about our friendship. I promise that I do. I just want to prove that. I want to talk more about stuff, hang out more in general, but I'm sorry for how I made you feel. And I've been feeling that way from several others as well, too, feeling used. And I think that can be a dangerous outcome of having sexual interactions in friendships like that. Bottom of the line is I care about you and I want to hang out more. Promise that I will do better again. And thank you for being honest with me. And realistically, I think this is a fine apology, all things considered. Like, validating how they feel, saying that, like, you're not alone in this experience. It's not just you. So I appreciate you bringing this to my attention. You know, I'm sorry that I made you feel that way. That's a good part of an apology. And then, you know, I do want to continue to, like, have a relationship with you, but not just have it be, like, oriented around sex. This is all good. Void of the fact that this person was 17 and was groomed by SHAYY. Void of all that. This is a pretty banger apology, okay? And again, I will say, like, we will be fair. When they were at the con, SHAYY was working. So I understand that we don't really have time to gossip girl. We're, like, working, right? So I totally understand that, so... really sorry for this. It has everything to do. So now we're getting into the excuses. We should have left it at this. We should have left it at this. We shouldn't have said more. I keep getting fucking owned. I keep getting owned. Okay, is there anything worth talking about in here? I just think that I need you to know that I do care. Sometimes it's difficult for me to discern what people want from me. I only attended these interactions because I thought you were enjoying them. Can we try again? I want to know how UK trip has been going. Okay. In the months or so following, there was conversations we had felt real for the first time in a year, even them reaching out after I posted my private Twitter during breakdown. Also saw your tweet out. So it sounds like this person, like, got the hint, like, you're right, I was just using you as, like, a digital blow-up doll. I apologize, and then it seems like it got better. But again, we have to remember the context that this was, like, somebody who was kind of priming somebody to be involved in a sexual relationship. So I would have only included these things: the flirting, the escalation, the grooming, the flashbanging, Snapchats, and the sexual assault. That's the only thing that I would include in this. So we could have synopsized that a lot shorter. Okay, anonymous number 1. Click the substep. No, I'm not. No. No. What? Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Introduction. Okay. Can I... Oh, okay. This is it? Oh, let's just go to the conclusion. Okay. Oh, written statement. Okay, this is an anonymous one. Okay. I've seen you properly explain the situation. I know the half-truth. I want you... Okay, so we're on anonymous 1. I want you to tell the people you've told in full transparency what you did. You made a sexual joke targeted at me over a tweet unrelated to you, which I sent because I felt like I had to prove that I wasn't a bottom after you teased that I... What? Okay, so that's the truth. It was not a god, I wish that were me when I'm getting this. Okay, this is a complete reaccounting of what went on between me and SHAYY. So TLDR, SHAYY lied, has continued to omitting information, heavily downplayed what actually happened between me and them. So, okay, what actually happened? I'm so sorry this come out. Most likely sick of hearing about everything. Ideally, SHAYY's accountability statement would have been blah, blah, blah. This is where my head is. Firstly, please make sure that you're going back and forth. I will not be doing that. Secondly, please be aware that my intent isn't to drive SHAYY's friends away. I'm fully aware. Okay. Okay. Great. How has this affected me? I've had 2 hits of hyperventilation. How old is this person? Okay. I have genuinely never felt so much violent stress, painful, scary anxiety. Okay, can we just see, like, what happened? I want to take... Okay, so cut this out. This is... Oh, wait. Wait. I saw the OCD. Mentally, I felt worthless. At times, I haven't felt like a person anymore. There have been so many times I felt disgusted with my body, disgusted in the body I was born in, because maybe things would have been different if I had not been perceived the way that I was. Maybe if I was born a man and identified as a man, overtly masculine at the same time, this would have never happened. It's made me feel completely unlovable. Thanks to my OCD, I've also been unable to focus on anything other than this. It has been in my mind. Okay. All right. Fantastic. So the other thing that I want to put in here is SHAYY. I also want to put in here the gawk comment, because that's unimportant. Because I feel like this is going to become relevant. Okay, so a non-number 1. So far, I would not include any of this, okay? I would not include any of this. So where to start? We met in the community as a fan. They messaged me for the first time. I was 17 years old, so 2023, 2 years ago, SHAYY would have been, what, 22? Right? 23, 22? So 17/20, we'll just say 23. Okay, so that's important to bring up. 2023 fan of content in community. That's important to bring up. Okay, fantastic. So we were interacting on DMs and Gen Chat as well as making fan art. I also was added to the Trusted on June 27th before I turned 18. Shay behaved properly while I was underage as far as I'm aware, but after turning 18, happy birthday and joked about minors DNI. When they began using terms like good boy to describe and praise me, Shay was 24. So we have like more grooming allegations. So grooming, and I'm gonna say like amping up sexual combos after 18. That's like priming, right? Okay. They told me that, quote, I used my platform to force my friends to make the banner for the entire year. Started to respond playfully saying like, goddamn, you got a dumpy. I was aware that this was I started to respond to this playfully saying dumb shit like, goddamn, you got a dumpy. I was aware this was stupid to say. It's not really something I like to joke often, but it felt right given in the moment. I wanted to be friends with them, so I wanted to match the energy. This ended up with Shay saying, quote, are you saying this? Are you saying you want to have a fat ass? My responsive quote, that implies that I don't have a fat ass already. This, where, quote, proof was asked by Shay. Like, the sexual nature of this is what's inappropriate, right? Like, I don't think that if I said, hey, dude, like, you're totally jealous that I have, like, fucking killer calves. Like, my calves are insane, dude. You would not believe the calf genetics that God has blessed me with, okay? And then somebody said, proof, question mark? I don't really know. That seems kind of inconsequential. And, I mean, the sexual nature of it is kind of, I guess you could say kind of weird, but this person was 18 at the time, right? So, I mean, okay. I know Shay focused on the nickname Blank Ass for this segment. For unaware, Blank Ass was a nickname that I gave myself. So you gave yourself the nickname. So why are we super upset about the ass thing? So this is about the ass. They joked about my body. This went on until I said I had a photo that could show the angle it was taken from. What? What is happening here? She didn't encourage me not to, so I felt like I had to. Foreskin Quilt says, I'm gonna drink 27 buzzballs. And I say, okay, have fun, I guess. And because, or no, Foreskin Quilt says, I'm gonna drink 27 buzzballs. And I say, okay. And because I didn't say, don't drink 27 buzzballs, that's such a bad idea, you feel compelled by my lack of a statement to consume 27 buzzballs? What? They're lucky I didn't send anything sexually suggestive? What? I was young. It was 4 months after I turned 18. The freshly turned 18. Okay. What else is in here? They told me that they would hug me and pick me up. Terrifying. Like that scene from Barbarian. Called me cute. I hated anyone calling me this, but I made exceptions. Okay, well then stand up for yourself. I don't know what to say. Drew art for them. Power imbalances. Like, you can say that some of these are, like, fair, right? Like, it's inappropriate for Shay to have a server where she's interacting with fans that are very young. That's inappropriate. I completely agree with all of this, but this is not evidence of that, right? This is not evidence of that. So, there's a situation I will not give details about. Okay, then why include it? Why I was afraid to speak up. That person is victim 7. I mean, I guess the only thing you could add in here, but I would add this with, like, a non-7, so I would come down here. I know this is later, but we're going to say a non-7. I would do, like, a non-1 corroborating. I would not, this is not, who cares? This is hearsay, who cares? I couldn't bring myself to tell them no. What is happening? She had a pretty large paranoia and trauma over people talking behind their back. Sometimes I didn't particularly want to tell Shell how... Okay, well, Shay can't read your mind, so, okay. Shay and other people's hair. So, to my understanding, the Shay person has a hair fetish. So, if that was on your bingo card... add that right now. Go ahead and tick that off. This is the hair fetish. So, we're definitely including this. We're definitely including the hair fetish. They'd gotten a hairdryer. What? Shay had spoken to me about how they'd gotten a new hairdryer, in which they told me, quote, if that gives you any ideas. Does that mean, like, shoving the hairdryer up your ass? What does that mean? What does that mean? What does that mean, bro? Dude. I had no idea. I also have no idea. To my surprise, Shay responded with, your hair looks so amazing, though, to this person wanting to cut their hair short because they were trans. This is, I mean, to give credit, they told me it was my own choice, but here's the thing. The context is that they have a thing for longer hair. That seems to be known for people that have had intimate relationships with them. It's opposite Onision. It's Bizarro Onision, you guys. Bizarro Onision. Instead of, like, making people shave their heads and shit, he makes them wear a wig. That's crazy. Okay. No wonder Shay said if that gives you ideas, it all makes sense now. Additionally, like, what does she like about the hair, though? What is the hair thing here? Interesting. Is it like because you want to pull it? Like, what is it? What is that? I want to know what the hair gooting is about. Like, what about? I want more details about this hair gooting because I too prefer long hair on women, but I'm not like gooting to hair. I'm not like, oh, it's perfect hair, baby. Like, what do we mean here? What do we mean? What do you mean? What do you mean, bro? What do you mean? Okay, so I'm sure that you can find out examples of misbehaving in trusted chat, and then I would also put in here that like minors plus sexual talk in private Discord. I would put that in here as well. September 6th of 2024, a conversation about masturbation in the vent channel, making other participants in this conversation. Also some participants and what's worse is there are proof that yeah, so I would say that there were minors that were, you know, privy to the conversation about Goddamnit. That's inappropriate. Nobody stopped this, especially the Cerner owner being Shay. So what's the reason? I responded to Xander's usual hello bottoms in my iPhone message for obvious reasons. I do not identify as a bottom. I would not put this in this Google document at all. This is something that Shay and I tried to playfully argue since we became friends. They even once teased that I was becoming like Redacted One, who regularly got called a bottom. It's a bottom. It's like so bad. It's like they so badly wanted to be something I'm not. I had no idea, because the idea of being a bottom makes me afraid to be taken advantage of. Yeah, why is this in here? Guys, it triggers my PTSD to be called a bottom, even though the running joke of the group chat is that everybody's a bottom. This shouldn't be in here. This person needs to see a psychiatrist, not write Google documents. It genuinely sucks that I have to explain this. You actually don't have to. None of you should have known this much about me. We did not have to put this in the document. So I took the screen cap to show them proof. They responded teasingly with, hey. I instantly knew what was meant by this, but hope they were just making things up. I didn't want to assume that Shay wanted to give me a hickey. It made me revolt and it disgusted me. I don't want sexual interactions with Shay. Why would they say that? Maybe just overthinking it, so I took it as a joke. I teased them. I called them a slur that we all reclaimed teasingly in this group. Shay messaged me again, responding to what I said hours prior, to share a photo of themselves alongside it. The conversation reignites. I call them pretty positively 3 hours after I got the screen cap. So what? So lied about the situation. I was confused. Head pat gifts. Oh my god. Is there anything in here else that needs to be added? Is there anything else in here that needs... Because this is insane. So you realize you had sexual trauma. You're not going to talk about the sexual trauma, thank God. And then... I told Shay to be careful and stop this behavior. So this is just documentation that they confronted Shay about this kind of stuff. Noticeably lacking screenshots. The name drop and why Shay was banned. Don't care. Okay, so my eyes are oh, wow. Okay, yeah. Oh, my God. No wonder this document is so long. Oh, my God. I lost something once. Yeah, okay, so oh, let's just go to the conclusion. I had to sit through over 13,000 words. Oh my god, dude. Literally, this could have been an email. There's still an entire tab. Jesus Christ. And there's still more. Holy fuck. And then we got screen caps. Thank you for the lovely drawing. No problem. Happy birthday. Thank you, Shay. Got to put the miner's DNI in bio now. So this is just like a joke. I don't think that's really that big of a deal. Oh my god, a heart emote? Wow. Or a head pat emote. Oh my god. Wow. Good boy. Damn, okay. LMAO. Head pat. Scared emoji. The ass jokes. Laughing emojis. Okay, I don't care about any of this. I don't care about any of this. This is terrible. I don't care about any of this. Nope. 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 This could have been an email. If your Google document is unreadable, your Google document goes in the trash. Look at this. We're still going. No wonder this is fucking 200 pages. It's all this person. It's all this person. And if there's anything good in here to read, I mean, good luck, I guess. I ain't reading all this shit. Sorry that happened, or I'm happy for you, I guess. Dude. Oh my god. Hello? Okay, collection of pattern... More? More? Dude, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. I'm still going. Okay, is this... Okay. Are we done yet? We're still not done. Grippy sock vacation. Grippy sock vacation. Oh! It's still going. Okay, Jesus Christ. Scrap 99.9% of this. Okay, so for Anon 1, we can say comfortably that the only things that needed to be included of this is, like... The only things that needed to be in here was, like, fan of the community, engaging, like, in parts of the Discord with sexual content when minors were present. You know, I wouldn't even say grooming. I would say this is more like priming. Honestly, this, yeah, priming, maybe. I don't know. I think that's pushing it. I think this one, I think the Aspen is an example of grooming. I don't know if this is grooming. This is more maybe like priming, I guess. I wouldn't consider that at all. So, okay, so we have... and the only other thing that was worth getting out of that was the corroboration of Anonymous 7's. Okay, so this is Azareth's. How the fuck do I spell that? That's word soup. What is this? Okay, so we're on 4. Jesus. A-Z-U-R-A-E-T-H-S. Okay. Okay, so far we're 162 pages into the document. That person's testimony was probably like 100 pages, easy peasy. Something to be mindful of, and I say this every time that we cover shit like this, the most important thing to be mindful of is that when you're throwing your experiences or your testimony, so to speak, colloquially speaking, onto the pyre of allegations, all that you're doing is creating more for people to have to sift through in order to get to the truth of the allegations. If this is just formatted so poorly that, to your novel reader, obviously this has had a pretty significant impact on Shay, which is surprising to me because this document is so illegible. But, like, what you want to take into consideration is, like, what are the allegations and how do we substantiate these in a brief and meaningful way? If the allegations are that Shay is engaging inappropriately with minors, priming them and grooming them for sexual encounters when they turn 18 years old, meeting up with them in real life and sexually assaulting them, and some of the other allegations, if these are the allegations, we need to ask, how do we prove that this is actually happening? And then we substantiate that with evidence and testimony. People treat a lot of these allegations as an opportunity to just, like, vent every negative experience that anybody has ever had with them. Like, if there are, allegations that come out about somebody and I jump in and I'm like, oh yeah, one time, they wore their shoes inside my house and they, like, scuffed up the floor and it was really fucking rude. It's like, why does that have to be included in this document? Like, we need to be making pointed, clear allegations with evidence that substantiates those allegations. Otherwise, like, people just like glaze their eyes over. Because if I was not reading this on stream, I would have clicked off under the first allegation. Yeah, it's quite unfortunate. So, okay. This is Azarath's statement. So we're writing some stuff to clear things up. Known SHAYY for a long time, joined their community in 2021, became closer to them in 2023. Relevant story starts in June 2024. There was a messy breakup. Okay. From the breakup on, SHAYY was continuously flirty with me. In one of the first conversations, I expressed that I was okay with it as long as it is kept platonic. This is giving me cancer. You guys we can fuck platonically as long as it's kept platonic. That's totally fine, you guys. I replied, okay, if SHAYY doesn't get risque. I asked what the line was, anything more than a kiss on the cheek. At one point after, I asked SHAYY for advice on the matters regarding the ex. Proceeded to scold the individual in question lightly. Cuddly, they were guiding me to put my head in their lap. A few days later, they would explicitly stated as such by them, feel up my ass. Okay, so so far this is the best one. So this one so far is good. So we have SA, you know, unwanted feeling up, things like that. I had outright stated my line for acceptable behavior. It should be clear that this was over the line. I was only 18 and emotionally raw and vulnerable. I guess something that could be put in here as well is like reinforcing that these are all very young people. Reinforcing young people, fans, members of server, parasocial relationships, basically. Like, that's something that can be kind of like seeded throughout. I don't know if that's like a lot all on its own, but that's definitely worth including, I suppose. Okay. So, all right. SHAYY called me hot, told me I had a nice butt, immediately stated again that they were okay with sexual activities with friends. I responded with disinterest and discomfort. Although it was nearly universally initiated by them, I would grow used to their expectation and preempt myself on some occasions, just as a general example. So yeah, this is a little bit more priming, right? Like, just kind of like normalizing these. Like, I think the thing that I would consider to be inappropriate about this constant undertone of these platonic engagements is that it normalizes them as like not a big deal. So like, for example, if I say, platonically, is it okay if we cuddle? And somebody says, yeah, sure. Platonically, is it okay if I honk your bubas? Okay, sure. Platonically, is it okay if we make out? Okay, sure. Platonically, is it okay if we have sex? I mean, okay, sure. Like, this is kind of like a natural progression of all of these things, right? And what that does is it kind of primes someone or normalizes them to this not being an intimate sexual action, but just something that's normal for friends to do together, and it's not, right? It's just the slow burn and the slow normalization. And one of the biggest criticisms I have for a lot of these communities, and especially the trans community, is that a lot of relationships are hypersexual in nature, and they think that these are like very, very, very toxic spaces for people to kind of explore that. And then I see someone in chat saying that platonic sex exists. What do you think hookup culture is? Hookup culture is different than having sex with your friends in a platonic way. So if I say somebody is my platonic soulmate, that is separating a romantic or a sexual soulmate from a friend soulmate. Platonic means friend, right? So casual hookup culture is not fucking people in your immediate friend group. Hookup culture is usually reserved for strangers. When you start fucking people in your friend group, that's a problem, because it starts to fuck up the dynamic of the friend group, one, and then two, there's weird boundaries, weird lines, weird understandings, a lot of things get blurred and convoluted. Platonic, saying that something is a platonic engagement between two friends, like platonically I gave my friend a hug, platonically I had dinner with another woman, right? Platonic just means that you're doing something in a friendly way. It is not platonic to fuck your friends. Like, it takes away the intimacy from what like sex is and what these sexual acts are. It's like an intimate thing that isn't something that often crosses the line from friendship. Like, it's normal for people to like hook up with somebody and then like you end up in a relationship later. Or you know, fuck somebody and then they end up, oh, this wasn't actually like a good fuck. I think that we're just going to be we're gonna be friends instead. Like, those sometimes happen. But friends with benefits and then platonic instances are not the same thing as platonic sex or hookup culture. These are very dissimilar, okay? So, going on, they would send me the following strong messages. I've been told I have a nice ass, but I want an adorable trans girl grabbing it. This applies to several things. Fetishistic tone towards me being transgender sticks out. So I would include actual screenshots here, not just transcripts. So, and then I would do like fetish, chaser behavior, because this is something that's common as well. All these people are like trans, right? So we can put like T for trans, this person is trans, this person is trans, this person is trans, right? Like, we have a little bit of a chaser shit going on here, right? A little bit of chaser shit going on here. Little bit of chaser shit. Okay, so we could include that. That could be like another, like, over. This is what we want in the umbrella. Chaser / fetish. Okay. Ooh, and you guys know how much this triggers me. Again, in DMs in August, they called me a bottom, and I responded that I am apathetic or ambivalent. Ambivalent does not mean indifferent, okay? That's not what that means. Ambivalent comes from the Latin root ambi, which means two, ambidextrous. It means to have two conflicting, opposing ideas pulling against each other. It doesn't mean that you're indifferent. Stop using that. Write that shit down. That shit fucking pisses me off, okay? Okay, so we have some more of these just playing along. 1 week later, Shay would initiate DM saying you're cute. I would reject advances, trying to be humorous. The most egregious example came in January when they stated that they had, again, used a body hair removal product I had recommended. They asked me if I wanted to see the results, and I said sure, expecting a tame picture. They sent me a picture, spoiled and marked thigh warning. Photograph was full nude. Nude flashbang. I would include this in here. And the hair thing. Nair hair fetish. Nair hair fetish. Nude flashbang. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. Hey, I got a new haircut. Do you want to see it? And it's actually just me, like, totally fucking naked. But do you like my haircut, though? Please respond. That's awesome. Okay. It was posed suggestively. Shay knew the aforementioned previous partner of Willy Quibble 2 on March 17th. Shay DM'd me, asked, among other niceties in DMs, if I was still okay with friend flirting. Again, this is, stop doing this. It's crazy. Stop doing that. However, I dodged the question, made me uncomfortable. On the 9th, they mentioned me again, stating that they were simply replying, boop. They did the exact same thing, boop. Boop bombed. Okay. So, like, I guess you could put in here, like, not respecting boundaries, but I would include screenshots. Not respecting boundaries. I would include that. Okay, that's all. Oh, that's all, but then we have more. Okay, cool. Disrespectful. I don't care about this. They've been disrespectful. The only thing that I would say that you could include in here, like, this is what I would include. Others brought this behavior to their attention before. So it was mentioned earlier that, you know, people had mentioned to Shay as early as, you know, like 2020, 2021, that they were kind of being like a sex freak and they need to stop, right? Basically, that could be like a thread throughout all of this for sure, but a lot of this is kind of, you know, I would put like the final statement at the bottom and then criticize it after including like, you know, in 2025 or whatever, I went to Shay about this and Shay said, I don't give a fuck or whatever. That's what I would put in there. Okay. There's still more? Jesus. Okay. All right. So we're on to Anonymous 3. How many of these bitches? There's 5. Oh my God. Okay. So we have 5. We have Anon 3. Where did Anon 2 go? Did we skip Anon 2? Whatever. Okay. I don't know. Moderator, former moderator and friend since 2021. Didn't want to write this. No longer in the community. Felt like my arm was twisted, forcing me to stand up for myself after years of brushing everything off as a mistake. Okay, so I would see it in here like addressed behavior before. What else do we have in here? I was made to feel welcome, found a place. They would say I was a fangirl. I was just another 17-year-old. Okay, so we've got another, like, 17, 23 parasocial in the community thing. That's good to include. I would include that for sure. Shay would personally go into my DMs and compliment my art. Okay, so we have screenshots in here. Okay, that's good. I'm not going to click on them, though, but so we have screenshots, so good. I felt included in something, so I would say that this is probably priming, right? So turned 18. Let's go Aries. Added a trusted, and then modded, like, right after 18. So we have kind of, like, the priming BX after 18 years old. That's another common thread. I would include this. Shay's conversations that led into sexual topics often were sparked with something completely innocent, such as the 26th they DM me about sissy hypno, explaining the joke. I don't think I need to state why, assuming that your 17 friend is a degen, so I would include this as well. Sexually charged topics. Topics in DMs at 17. I would include that. That's probably worth including. Okay, Shay has a thing for hair. With that said, Shay has frequently mentioned and complimented my hair, especially when it first dried. Often with the blue, not the blue hair, bro. Somebody's got a bingo. You guys have a bingo. Somebody does. There's blue hair mentioned. We're good. This wasn't any first-hand experience. At some point, I turned on my camera. Oh god. Okay, there aren't any first-hand evidence of this specific incident happening. It was in a VC. At some point between January and March, I joined the general VC to see Shay. Victim 6 and another person drinking. I turned on my camera and grabbed some Fireball and joined in. My soul just left my fucking body reading Fireball. That, like, spiritually made me vomit. Dude, who actually likes Fireball? I guess only, like, 12-year-olds like Fireball. Like, Fireball is so fucking gross, dude. Fireball is nasty. God, I just got, like, a secondhand hangover. That's so gross. Oh my god, bro. Ew. Okay. I don't remember the exact date, considering I was drunk. I only remember that I was still 17. When Shay and Victim 6 pointed out that I was too young to drink, I gave several BS excuses. Blah, blah, blah. Denote at this point, Anonymous 6 was 19, Shay was 21. They did nothing when a 17-year-old fan joined VC and immediately began drinking as well. I felt so cool. I mean, I don't know if this is worth including in the document, because, like, if I'm in a Discord VC and somebody jumps in and starts, like, pounding fucking buzzballs, what the fuck am I supposed to do about that? I think the only solution here is to not have minors in the Discord server, but I don't really know why this would... I don't really know why this would be included at all. Maybe I'm biased too, but someone absolutely should have stopped it. One of us needed to be an adult. I mean, this is just something that I would not mix. Or I wouldn't put in this document, personally. And, Honda, just so you know, everything goes good with Coke. Any alcohol goes good with Coke. Not the drink, though. Oh, it's always good when it's snowing. Okay, months after discussing the behavior, there was an unwritten rule that mods had to be 18. However, this rule is interesting, especially considering 4 of the other people that Shay modded in 2021 were all under 18. So I would have included this as well, under 18 years old moderators. That's kind of crazy. I think, why do you want, like, literal children running your Discord server? That sounds like a bad idea. Okay. First confrontation. So I would just document the confrontations, because it's obvious that, like, we're just kind of, like, hand-waving this kind of stuff, right? So these are just kind of documenting the times that we're confronting Shay. After all, their channel would explode in popularity. That behavior would be addressed. Like that would ever happen. I didn't leave. By May, I came crawling back. I didn't want to leave. I cared about the community. Shortly after Shay broke up with Star, they started dating another artist in their community. It will not be named. They only dated for about 3 months. Cited their breakup as mutual. Okay, there's a mod that's a groomer. Okay, this is important. This is important. So this is under here. So this is... I think that I would have started with this, but... Okay, mod groomer. Let's see what we got here, guys. Let's see what's happening here. February 14th, Happy Valentine's Day, 2022. Some friends all played Calamity. unaware at the time that Willie would be notified that an Uber was using his status as a mod in the SHAYY community as leverage over a 15-year-old grooming them. The screenshots I was sent were appalling. It was miserable in every sense of the word. Someone I thought was my friend. So I wouldn't make this about me either. Like, we're making this about me. I would just include the screenshots here. SHAYY completely shut down after this, going completely MIA to say for the frequent venting. It severed my trust. Yeah, I would like more information on this. This isn't very thick or hefty. This is what I would expect to take up a lot of bulk. But this is something that I would have started with, I think, and the evidence of it, of course. So, grooming 15-year-old user. And then I would include in here minors as young as 15 in server where sexual talk is occurring. I would include that in the overview. Okay. So this was the conference. I was 19 and stayed with SHAYY, Star, Pleb, and only 2 things happened. We'd agreed that we would be getting a room with 2 queen beds, Star and SHAYY, and Pleb and I sharing the other. SHAYY changed the arrangements before the room. Didn't say anything about it till after. Instead of having 2 beds, they bought a room with a single king-size bed. And I could sleep on the pull-out couch. This sucked. But SHAYY got the king-size bed. I asked if I could at least rotate the bed the entire... Okay, so why is this in here? This part acts out. I don't care that you had to sleep on the pull-out couch. You're fine. The other incident was shortly after. I went to the hotel hot tub. When we returned to SHAYY's room, I immediately went to the bathroom to change. Star was already in the room laying in the bed. Then, while grabbing food from the fridge, I heard SHAYY "don't look" from behind me with no elaboration. By the time that they said not to look, they'd already stripped down. So Pleb, Vel, and myself turned around and were greeted by SHAYY bent over completely naked. Vel was 16. Okay, so I would put this in here as well. And I probably would have started with this. Again, this is something I would have started with. Flashing at the hotel to a 16-year-old. Right? That was 16? 16 is what that said? Yeah, I would totally fucking include that as well. That would be right at the fucking top for me. That would be right at the top for me. That's crazy. That's completely fucking inappropriate. There's no reason that we can't change in the bathroom or anything like that. And given the propensity for this individual to be like a completely fucking sick, degenerate gooner, I am comfortable saying that this is probably like a gooner thing, right? I don't think this was just like a whoopsie, you know what I mean? But so could have gone to the bathroom, but they didn't. So I would include this. This is like pretty fucked up. Okay, this feels nitpicky, but I feel it's important to include the repeated pattern of selfishness. I wouldn't include this at all. Like, I guess you could fold this into, like, using people for, like, sexual gratification. Right? Like, with Aspen, it kind of felt like this person was, like, a digital flashlight, and then a lot of these people express kind of feeling the same. Like, that could be an overarching thing, but I don't think that this needs to be in here, like, despite everybody wanting to sit inside and it was hot, like, everything's about them, I don't care. So, at the next con... They were there, and there's a witness. SHAYY and I were laying in a separate bed next to each other. I was scrolling on TikTok. SHAYY started to inch closer. I inched away, wanting personal space. Rarely okay with platonic cuddles. Shut the fuck up. SHAYY continued to move closer, trying to stay calm and keep my composure. Nearly fell off the bed. I turned my back to SHAYY. I didn't speak or cause a scene. Turning my back was an invitation because SHAYY then curled up behind me, spooning me. To make this even worse, I could feel their dick on my leg, so I sat there terrified. Not the gawk, bro. I sat thinking, what were they going to do? I wanted my personal space. I was still shaken up after the whole thing. So just kind of like unwanted contact, I suppose, is worth mentioning, but I don't know if we need all this shit in here. Okay, so the aftermath, this is more... So all of these are just saying that to my understanding, these are all just saying that SHAYY admitted and took accountability, like, behind closed doors, that, like, SHAYY basically admitted to all of this stuff happening. So I would kind of, at the end of all of these, I would like tack on, what is the word that I'm looking for here? Like, tack on conceding to the allegations with screenshots. That's what I would do there. Okay, moving on. Willie, I think this is like one of the last ones, I think. So this is Willie. Probably not, because we're only on Anonymous 3 and we get up to a non-7, right? So I'm going to actually copy this and we're going to put this back up here. Because I think that this should have been at the top, in my opinion, but Whatever. Okay, so we're on Willie 6. Willie J. Willie. And I'm assuming Willie J. Willie is also probably trans, but whatever. Alright. In early 2023, Shay had posted some pictures on her private Twitter account that stated, started out simply minorly revealing. So we're doing all this. These photos would become more revealing to the extent of culminating in the picture being sent in mid-April of 2023. No actual image exists, unfortunately. Well, explicitly not safe for work. It was the kind of image that borders into that. On April 17th, 23, Shay's trusted channel started regarded intentionally not having a not safe for work channel on the server. I use this as an opportunity to express my concerns about the private Twitter account. So it did have a spoiler tag. No, I'm talking about the most recent one you sent. Oh, I mean, it's not safe for work. Like, I think that we could just unfollow Shay's private Twitter probably. But I guess I would assume that Shay probably isn't age gating their private Twitter, which is a problem, but like you can just unfollow if you don't want to see it. Like, why would I followed a porn account on Twitter and then I got pissed when I opened my phone and there was fucking porn on it. I got so mad. Like, duh, okay. I was made to feel like I was crazy for thinking that something was wrong. I felt like I was made incorrect for speaking up about this. I just would leave this out. So more arguing about the not safe for work Twitter. Blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't have included any of this. Nothing of note. I would not have included any of that. Okay, so then we got C. Yeah. Alright, C. What do we have to say, C? A writer for Calamity, various projects, moderated in Discord and Twitch chat. Okay. Love to come and visit. IDK how much you tend to do when it comes to holiday stuff. That's not a huge issue for me. I just slept on the couch just fine. I'm always incapable of playing just anyway. Could bring an inflatable air mattress. I mean, okay, so planning to... This is it? As my contribution of all of this, here's them trying to get me specifically to come over while Star is away. Okay, so they're just inviting you over to This is nothing. Nothing burger. Nothing of note. Nothing burger. What's this one? Jade. Alright, Jade. Give me something, Jade. Oops. Give me something, Jade, please. For the love of God. 2023, I'd gotten a message from my fiance about how Shay had DM'd asking about sex-related things, and it was okay because I had permission. I'll admit at the time, polyamory was still new to me. Somebody has a bingo. We've got polyamory in here full now. Shay pressured my fiance into having e-sex. Almost ruined the relationship. Okay, so... Forcible e-sex. Provide screenies. Nothing of note. Cool. And then we have Prisma. I posted a clip in the chat quotes with Shay making a joke about gawks. Ping's a trans person who wasn't happy. Just because you aren't wrong doesn't mean you still have to call me out like that. Nothing of note. And REI, oh my god, I love that store. Let's go, REI, I love you. Alright. Member of Shay's community and close friend since 2022. Multiple consensual sexual encounters and DMs. Engage in physical sexual activity. Shay, their girlfriend was aware of it, understandably horrified. Is that the only thing that's in here? Once while we were sexting, oh, trans, uh-oh, this one gets a T. This one also gets a T. Okay. While we were sexting, I mentioned top surgery offhandedly, saying IDK if I'll ever commit to full top surgery before I do, I need to be tit fucked at least once. As the roleplay continued, they said, why would you ever get rid of these? They'll help you fulfill your purpose. So this is probably some of the chasing shit, right? Like, that's probably worth, like, documenting chaser shit. The titty fucking thing. Or I'll say chaser tit fuck. Really important that we write that one down. Chaser tit fuck. After we finished, they joked about breaking my gender, which I took as a joke. Started using femi terms for me despite my pronouns. At one point during roleplay, they forced me to change my pronouns again, and then rewarded me with a video clip. They made reference to my top surgery, saying they're mine and you're not allowed to get rid of them. Okay, yeah, so that's fucking freak shit. So I think this is worth including. This is worth including, right? Chaser, like, pronoun, gender control. I think that this is important to know, only because, like, I think that when you're looking at this kind of stuff, the pattern of who these people are targeting, I think, is important, right? And so if we have, like, this weird, like, fetish shit for trans people, and, like, think of, like, Twin Flames. One of the reasons that Twin Flames was, like, so prolifically disheartening was because they, like, forced people to transition, right? Like, that's actually kind of crazy. Like, the whole, like, where there's a male soul and a female soul, and if two female souls, like, if two females are supposed to be together or whatever, they're like, actually, one of you has to be the masculine. And then they make that person transition, right? That's fucked. I think that weaponizing someone's identity to, like, not only sexualize them, but also to kind of control them in a weird way is super fucked. So these are just examples of the weird degen goon shit. Your pronouns are mine. Okay, and then we've got more of this shit. I'm not reading these sex messages. I'm not doing it. I'm not reading them. You simply can't make me read the sexting goon messages. And there's a lot of them. And then I would also consolidate these screenshots. Control fetish, consolidate screenshots. Because we have a lot here. We should be able to learn how to put more screenshots on a page. Okay, next we have Xander, and I know that that's a trans person because the name is Xander. I know that. I know. I always joke, and I tell trans people all the time that your name will out you before anything else, okay? There is no one who's like the age of 25 or older that's named Fern or Alexander with 4 Y's, a K, and a Z. I'm sorry, there's not. It outs you every single fucking time. Okay. SHAYY's community, I consider myself a victim of SHAYY, seeking out sexual interactions while I was away at PAX West. All of our interactions were consensual. I'm under no impression that they were using me. Feels kind of weird that I'm an outlier as a cis guy. I lost something once, ass. Inclusion, okay. Attached are screenshots of our conversation about making plans to visit, including a time frame. While I've omitted many screenshots for explicit reasons, I felt it was specific and important to bring out. So what are these? I was going to ask if you wanted to visit. I'll be alone. This, nothing. Not worth it. Nope, nothing. Oh my god, Xander is the only cis guy? That's crazy. We're going to put a C there for cis. That's crazy. Nothing of note. And then who's this? Yellow? Jesus Christ. 12. Yellow. Alright, Yellow, please give me something. Yellow is obviously also trans, I imagine. Okay. It's gonna be anonymous. Been friends for half a decade. 2 testimonials. I'm tired. This is just saying that people talk to Yellow about it. Okay, I don't care. Nothing of note. Nothing of note. And then this is what? Anon 2? Oh, we skipped it. Okay. 13, or excuse me, 13 is Anon 2. Jesus Christ. I don't know if I would necessarily call myself a victim of SHAYY. Then why are you here? Consensual sexual interactions. Yep, nothing. Nothing of note. Nothing of note. 14, we have... Oh, excuse me. 14, we have Anon... What is this? Anon 4. Okay, my situation was around 2023. SHAYY had a flavor of the week where I was the flavor of the week. They teased me in DMs a lot in live streams. In DMs, they also really wanted me to grow my hair out, so hair fetish. Bazinga, so hair fetish. Hell yeah, include that. Oh, excuse me. I need to specify. Sorry, hair fetish. My bad. Sorry, specify. They tease me in DMs and live streams. Also wanted to grow my hair out. I was not trans at the time. Oh my god. Another one. Another one. Wow. Okay. Oh, I didn't even open my water. That's embarrassing. Couldn't grow my hair out. Blah, blah, blah. When we did this... Oh, I've dealt more with a good okay, I don't care. I was not trans at the time. Blah, blah, blah. We did things together. It was a master-pet type dynamic. I'm so fucking over this. Power dynamics, famous people, blah, blah, blah. There was no aftercare, blah, blah, blah. Engaged in a Findom style teasing me, bought them a game. It said it was okay with having a hair of bottoms. I agree with the longer hair, you'd look hot. Hair. Big fan of that. I'm not... Okay, fine. I'll read these for you guys as a treat. Headspace. Do you need help being brought back into personhood again? Oh, only if Master says it's okay. Master says it's alright. Now you're allowed to be a person again. You did so well. But you can be a person again now, okay? Can I be a person again? Yes. I don't have to be a plaything? You don't have to be a plaything anymore now. I couldn't imagine, like, not only just sending these messages, but could you imagine, like, doing this, like, out loud? I don't understand how people, like, roleplay. I would bust up laughing. Like, I don't understand how people roleplay, like, even in real life, you know? Like, if my wife was like, I want you to be, like, a sexy college professor, and I'm like, okay. And she's like, I'll do anything to pass this test. And I'm like, how about you use a fucking hyphen, Stephanie? How about that? Have you ever heard of the Oxford comma? Apparently not. If you want to pass this class, you need to become literate in the English language. And she'd be like, no, you're supposed to make it sexual. And I'm like, but this paper is shit. What do you want me to do? Like, I don't know how people do that. I would break character. I literally couldn't do it, you guys. I couldn't do it. If there's ever messages leaked of me, like, erotic role-playing, you know for a fact they're not me, because I would be busting up fucking laughing. I think that I'd be like, oh, are you going to take me to your office and punish me? I was actually going to take you to #RapeCod. Like, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. I literally couldn't do it. Okay, and then we've got some more creepy sexting. Here's a reward for you that I took this morning, slut. Thank you so much, Master. You are very pretty and hot. Okay, thank God that's over. Okay. Okay. So I would do, like, the hair fetish thing. That's fine. The hair fetish is the only thing that's worth including there. What anon are we on now, guys? Anonymous 5. Fuck me. Okay. Anon 5. I hate talking about this because I generally don't like talking about my sexual encounters or history. I want to remain anonymous. I want to state up front that I was not perfect in this situation or claiming to be. However, SHAYY's actions and inciting most. I've been friends with SHAYY for 5 years. Retain a mutual friendship and now talk about speedrunning. They would purposely ignore me or leave me out of the conversation and claim certain discoveries of my knowledge while not uttering my name while gassing others up. I understood for a reason. This behavior started right after I'd called them out for putting things in jeopardy with my current romantic relationship. Congratulated them on getting Delta Rune, blah, blah, blah. We chatted a bit, sending me lots and lots of pictures. They were all clothed, kept sharing photos, complimenting because I didn't want to repeat. Anyways, I started getting more and more flirty with me until I stopped responding as quickly. They asked what I was doing. Reading Homestuck. I did my thing. They basically ignored it, went back to fishing for compliments. From this point on, things got worse. SHAYY was suddenly treating me a lot better. And wait, what? Did I miss something? No. Eventually, we talked about how they'd gotten their new house. Which turned into me bringing up HRT, and then eventually old picture I'd taken from a long dead Twitter circle. Another one. They hit me. I mentioned I look a lot better now, and they hit me with the proof. I avoided ways, going to bed to avoid it. Became flirtatious. I admit fault for not leaving this sooner. At this point, we engaged in a single sexual act that was occurring on its face, fully consensual. I hate them in hindsight. After that, they were asking daily for sexual favors. Next month, I told them I was going by a different name. They basically asked for help jacking off. Cool. Nice. Okay, so there's quite literally nothing of note in this one. Okay, and then we have Anonymous 6. We're almost done, guys. We're so close. Maybe not. I'm actually just gonna, like, erase these ones that have nothing of note, because, like... Nothing of note, nothing of note. Like, I'm just getting rid of these, because they're not. They're just taking up space. Get rid of all these, okay. So this is now 6. This is now 7. This is now 8. Okay, and then we're on, what are we on? Anonymous 6? Okay, let's see if this is worth including. So, Anon 6 flirted with me in DMs while in a relationship, stared at my chest, creepy behavior. Okay, don't care. Anonymous 7. I don't know if I was ever close to them or not, but they like me enough to have e-sex with me. At first I did enjoy it, until I realized they were only reaching out for sex. It just sounds like all these people got, like, fucking played, dude. It just sounds like all these people got played. Like, I guess you can include, like, that this person was used for, like, like a digital fleshlight, I guess. This episode will leave me to cut out all casual sex from people outside of... whatever. I don't care. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Anonymous 8. Formerly a friend and member of SHAYY's staff. A football server? Oh my god, ew. NFL? Gross. Okay. So we're sexting, lots of sexting. Okay, this is just bringing up concerns. Anonymous 9. Later, I would discover SHAYY was attempting to invite my partner to their house while their own was out. Okay, like, this bitch was literally hitting up every single person to hang out with her on Thanksgiving. Jesus Christ. Thanksgiving incident. Like, literally, little black book. I'm messaging every single person that I've ever met my entire life to see if they want to fuck on Thanksgiving. That's crazy. I guess I would include that. I don't need anything from this bitch. Okay, well, let's see what this is. SHAYY has always acted condescending in most conversations. Whenever we discussed something, it felt like they respected my opinions very little or treated me like crazy, often acting like my statements were absurd. Admittedly, our relationship for a good period of time was strained due to things I did, however... I am plural, and SHAYY never talked quite with the same tone as she did towards my... Okay, there's DID in here. Someone has a bingo. Who has a bingo? DID is in here too. DID is in here too. We were not being nice to the alters, you guys. Who had DID on their bingo card? Anonymous 10. Former moderator. Using me for sexual gratification. Okay, more of this. We get it. And Anonymous 11. I was 17, 8 months after, right when I turned 18. Shifted. So this is the only other one that I would include in here. This is Anonymous 11, right? Anon 11 waited till 18 to engage sexually. Entered community as minor. Okay, what else have we got in here? Uncomfortable jokes, sexual jokes. So we were at the hotel. I was showing SHAYY a video on my phone. They invited me to sit with them. I got up and sat next to SHAYY. They very quickly put their arm around me and pulled me in to lay down. The situation was interrupted, and they got me physically away from SHAYY. I was visibly upset. While they were in the bathroom, the topic of age came up. She said, quote, "I can't believe people your age are old enough to be propositioning me." I had a physical reaction to this comment. Okay. During this, SHAYY went to hug me and pick me up by the waist. They were holding me. They adjusted a little bit. I chalked it up to an uncomfortable grip. I felt violated. I was 18. Okay, so we could just say, like, I guess unwanted. Well, I wouldn't even include that, like the unwanted advances. Like, they sound like they didn't go anywhere. Okay, so this Google document that we just spent God knows how long fucking reading. This is going to be terrible to edit, you guys. So this document is 262 pages. This document could have been like 4 pages total. So if I was making this document, let's pretend that I'm making this document. This is Malcolm's free PR advice. Okay, this is Malcolm's free PR advice. So I would order this in a different way. I would say that like what we're trying to address is we're constantly talking to and engaging with people that are very young, people that are fans, member of the server. We're making like these kind of parasocial relationships. We're normalizing the idea of engaging sexually with them under the guise of it being platonic. Therefore, it doesn't matter that this person has a clear chaser fetish, a hair fetish, that people have brought this behavior up to them before and that it's never met, with any kind of change, that they were moderating Discord servers where young people could interact in sexual conversations, using people for sexual gratification, and then, we're also bringing in the events of where we were sexually aggressive in real life. So I would start with, the first thing I would start with would be Smiley. I would do Smiley first if I was writing this. The very first, I would go this, I would actually start with, no, I would go Smiley. What order would I do this in? I would do Smiley. Then I would do, Smiley, I would do Aspen, then I would bring up Anon 1, then I would go for the mod groomer. No, I would put Azareth here, actually. Azareth, R-A-E-T-H, whatever. Azareth, Aspen, mod groomer, and then the rest from there. Like, this is just so poorly formatted, and I think realistically, this is just unreadable, right? Like, this is something that is just entirely unreadable because this is a monstrosity, and most of this doesn't even need to be in here. I think the biggest problem that I have with this is that there are, like, legitimate allegations to bring to the forefront here, but this has turned into, like, I lost something once. No one is reading this 262 page Google document. This needs to be trimmed down significantly. So big L. I think that based on this document alone, I think that this SHAYY person is like a depraved sexual degenerate that probably like grooms minors online in order to like use them for sexual gratification. They're smart enough to wait until they're 18 to engage in the sexual, engagements or whatever. Is very sexually aggressive, has a history of sexual assault. This person's just like a degenerate gooner freak that's probably a pedophile. That's what I would say. At the very least, like a smart pedophile that just waits until they're 18 to actually do anything about it. Okay, so let's see what else we have going on here. So I want you guys to know how much of a snake SHAYY is. They thought they could get away with it. On Monday afternoon, like an hour before the docs dropped, SHAYY was in my server chatting up this, that, and the other thing. This fucker knew what was going on, and that night they still seemingly believed that they were going to have a career. Okay, cool. This one is SHAYY nuking the Discord server, and the channel is infos and charities, and then the charities are like the sexual abuse survivors. Yeah, charities to support victims of sexual abuse. So the thing is that SHAYY like ate all of these allegations. SHAYY ate every single one of these allegations. They don't deny any of the allegations. They actually pin the Google document in their Discord server, so they're totally fucked, right? They're totally fucked. And then this is what SHAYY told me right before the doc came out. This is just proof that this is SHAYY. The truth is I made a horrible decision. I've done terrible things, caused catastrophic damage to people. So this is SHAYY's like official statement. You all deserve to hear it from me. I know that you all be hurt and betrayed seeing what I had done over the years, and I'm so sorry to say that the people that I inflicted with this on, you've given me nothing but kindness, blah, blah, blah. I have serious issues, undiagnosed hypersexuality. Like, that's pretty much what this person chalks this up to, is hypersexuality. And it's like, the apology means fucking nothing. I don't care about it. But let's be totally fucking honest. I am so fucking tired of people hiding behind the idea of hypersexuality being like some kind of fucking disorder or something that gives you the goon free pass. Like, you get the pass to honk like 10 boobs per month unconsensually. Please help, I'm hypersexual, I don't know what to do about it. Like, the biggest thing that I like cannot emphasize more than anything is hypersexuality does not mean that people are more prone to assault other people, right? Hypersexuality just means that you have like a really increased libido. God gave you 2 hands, okay? You're totally fine. That doesn't mean that you need to be fucking grabbing on other people and shit like that. That's fucking insane. And this whole thing is so fucking ridiculous to me, because I cannot believe that these people are like being manipulated basically by the idea that it's fine if we do this like weird like sex shit because it's platonic, it doesn't count. And this, in my opinion, obviously this had a profound effect because SHAYY just accepted the allegations. SHAYY posted the original Google Doc in the Discord, shared charities, you know, for every charity under the sun, basically, for, you know, for sexual assault victims and shit like that or whatever. But that is the only reason that I think that this culminated into anything, because no one was reading that fucking Google document, you guys. SHAYY conceding to this and saying like, yes, all of this happened, and then fucking off the internet forever is what was the nail in the coffin. It is not that SHAYY actually did it, because you can't even sort through the Google document, right? If SHAYY didn't accept or admit to any of these things, I don't think this would have gotten anywhere, to be completely honest with you. And then this is SHAYY saying, my audience has a large amount of high schoolers, and I can confirm this is accurate, and I love them and wouldn't have it any other way. So, you know, again, confirming that we have an audience full of minors, which again, mistake. So, awesome. And then, of course, this is the video that I showed you guys earlier. I'll get rid of myself so you guys can see this a little bit bigger. Let's do this. Hang on. I'm just going to hide all this stuff really quick so you can see this. Okay, ready?
Do you know, I have been mortified of the day I would be trending on Twitter, thinking like, oh god, somebody's written up some fake-ass Google Doc on me to try to get me canceled or what.
Like, look at the fucking phrenology of this fucking specimen right here. This is like the monster from Gerald's game, dude. This is crazy. This posture is insane. This build is fucking insane. Look at the hands, dude. That's like the fucking Babadook is reaching out to touch you. Jesus Christ on a cross.
Never.
So, pretty keynote, pretty keynote. My official verdict is that SHAYY is just like a deranged sex freak, groomer, most likely pedophile. But the people that like put together all of these documents did it in a very poor way, and the only reason anything came out of this situation is because SHAYY admitted to it. If that didn't happen, I don't think this would have gone anywhere, and that is my final decree. Thank you for attending this rape review. That was fucking awful, you guys. That was fucking terrible. That was terrible. Absolutely terrible. Okay. Oh, wow. That sucked. That sucked. That sucked. That sucked. That sucked.